Congratulations, you cracked the case of the Dagger of Amon Ra. Stumbling your way through this blood-soaked evening, you discovered the identity of the murderer, the reasons for all of the deaths, the web of deceit, betrayal, intrigue, lust, greed, death. You know why just about everything happened, don't you? Don't you? Consider what we learned this evening. Now, the first thing is that greed is the surest way to turn someone into a monster, willing to kill people to get in their way. Whether it be fame, fortune, respect, the love of another, any of these motivations are sufficient to turn a person into a killer if their desire is strong enough. The second is that the most successful monsters are those that can hide their true faces. Think about the order of the deaths. First went Ziggy and Carter, two of the least guileful people this evening. Everyone knew exactly what was going to happen if either one of them found sensitive information. Carter would rush at it headlong and try to challenge it. Ziggy would sell it to everyone that he possibly could. Both thieves in their own way, neither much good at putting up false fronts. Next came Watney Little, con man and a practiced liar, true, but he started the evening with a huge disadvantage, his deepest secrets already known to the one who meant him the most harm. He couldn't overcome that handicap, and down he went. Next came Ernie, a good man who happened to be in the wrong place at the wrong time. There wasn't much to say for him, he shouldn't have even been involved. The last two to go, the Countess and Yvette, were two of the most practiced liars there that evening. They were adept at putting out a false front, pretending to be one thing while manipulating events to fulfill their true intentions. Even they, though, couldn't outlie Detective O'Reilly. He managed to fool not only you, but the entire police force and presumably most of the guests there that evening. After all, if they knew he was killing people one by one, wouldn't they escape? So, Detective O'Reilly, the best liar, was able to kill all the other members of the crime ring, and if you hadn't happened to catch him, would have escaped with all of the money. But does this make any sense? Think, the first death, Dr. Carter, he maybe tried to hide. Even then he was planting clues in the anticipation that the body would be found, and all the other ones were strung up around the museum like grisly trophies. If you were truly trying to quietly eliminate members of your crime ring so that you could keep all the money, surely there's a better way than locking them along with a bunch of innocent witnesses all in a museum and killing them in the most graphic way possible. No, something else has to be happening. But if we're going to propose an alternative, and not only that, if we're really proposing that someone else is the mastermind behind this whole thing and that managed to keep themselves hidden not only from the other members of the plot but also from Laura Bow herself, they would need to be an excellent liar. In fact, they would be someone in this game who would be tripped up only by one tiny lie.
Some customer also work at museum. Wolf Heimlich, security guard. Very important.
I have my washing done at the German laundry on 39th Street.
Doesn't seem very significant, does it? But consider for a second the fact that we know already that Lo Fat doesn't have a Chinese accent. He was born in New Jersey. This whole thing is an act.
He runs one of the local Chinese laundries. Pretends to be Chinese so he can get more business, but he has a terrible accent.
What if, instead of simply being the owner of Lo Fat's Chinese laundry, he's the owner of an entire United Nations of ethnically themed laundromats? In that way, he might unintentionally think of Wolf as his customer, even though Wolf would never visit the Chinese laundry. Furthermore, we know that Lo Fat is interested in culture. He's a contributor to the museum, after all.
Ever been to the Lion Decker Museum?
Of course, Lo Fat, big contributor to museum.
And he knows the value of publicity. What if he was attempting to build a brand, to have it be known that the people in high society, the ones who are, for instance, written about in the newspaper for attending museum functions, are the ones who also visit his ethnically themed laundromats? What if he was even willing to do this by pruning, by eliminating anyone who attended those functions who didn't go to his laundromats? But if that was true, then that should mean that the people who were attacked and killed tonight should be the ones who don't go to laundromats, while the ones who were spared should be the ones that do go, or are visiting dignitaries who aren't in town for long enough to really make a decision one way or the other.
People tell me Lo Fat's is a good place to have laundry done, but he always puts too much starch in my shirts.
Oh, heavens, my dear. My laundry is done by my maids.
Oh, Good heavens, Miss Bow, my houseman does my laundry. I never go to public establishments when I can possibly avoid it.
I don't go to a laundry, Miss Bo. I wash my own clothes. It saves a few pennies.
Laundry. Oh, you mean like washing your clothes? No, I does that myself.
Monsieur Lofat, he does some of the laundry, but I do most of the lacy and delicate things myself, no? We have the deal he enjoys, so it costs me nothing.
I do my own laundry. Oh, my head. What happened? Laura?
Yes, Steve. I was so worried about you. Are you all right?
I think so. I remember hearing somebody coming up behind me, and as I turned around, somebody slugged me. Cripes, my head hurts.
And the characters who survived?
I personally do not use that laundry, Miss Bo. I go to an Egyptian laundry on 44th Street. They are wonderful with linens.
They're pretty good. They always put just enough starch in me shirts.
Oh yes, he runs the laundry down the way. He always manages to keep the pleating in my silk shrouds just right.
I have my washing done at the German laundry on 39th Street.
I have not been in this country long enough to discuss the merits of your laundry establishments.
And finally, if we're going to support this as a conclusion, we need to follow the money. What is the result of this evening upon Lofat's business?
Lofat continued in the laundry business, eventually opening a chain of laundries across the country and becoming a millionaire in the process.
So, congratulations, Laura. You missed the true motive of the murderer, a hitman hired by Lofat, who was far too scared to rat out his boss and took years in prison over the horrors that would surely happen if he squealed. Because of your negligence, ethnically themed laundromats is now snaking out around the nation. There's fanatical devotion to their shadowy leader matched only by their devotion to cleanliness and good service. When will this end? None of us can say. But we do know why it started. Because one reporter wasn't able to put the pieces together. This ending is named Dirty Laundry.
That man is a few cards short of a full deck.
Lady who owned this dress probably dead by now.